Jai Hind, this video is to decide who is playing divide and rule in this deal of Nippon Steel. Now, the prospect that President Biden is ready to block a merger between Nippon Steel and US Steel on national security ground is stirring. But my question here is the deal which was done last year seems to get blocked due to national security. Is that the real concern? I mean, is that the only reason? Let's just see a little background on the history of this. Founded in 1901, US Steel is as American as well US Steel. It supplied metal for the Empire State Building and also pioneered workplace safety rules. Now, Washington has tried to stem the bleeding over recent years by imposing 25% tariff on most steel imports during Trump's time. Renegotiating certain steel quota arrangements was also done during Biden, and Biden also gave local steel makers a boost via industrial policy. And of course, the sector also has welcomed this help. Now, like a good businessman, CEO David Boyd Burrett says, a takeover from Nippon Steel, which is the world's fourth largest producer, would do something bigger, turn the firm back into a, I quote, truly global steel company. Now, what are the merits of this deal? Shortly after the deal was announced, Nippon had pledged to invest some 2.7 billion US dollars in the US steel facilities in Indiana and Pennsylvania. Now, US steel began to decline along with the broader American steel industry in 1970s as foreign firms including Nippon began to produce the material at a far lower cost. Between 1970 and 1987, American steel production declined 35%, while global steel production grew 21%. Now, the combined firm would be the third largest steel producing company in the world, giving it more control over the critical input in industries that Washington is seeking to boost in electric vehicle manufacturing. Nippon is currently 4th and US Steel is 24th. The deal could also result in lowering prices for US buyers and serve as an example of French shoring, a strategy touted by the administration that involves building supply chains with allies. Now, Nippon executives have also argued that the deal would create firm more equipped to compete with the Chinese companies which dominate the steel production. Now, Biden, Harris and Trump, they all want US steel to remain a US owned, and there's been a push for this powerful Committee on Foreign Investment in United States, CFIUS, to investigate the deal on national security grounds. Now, let's see the stance of CFIUS in America. It has been around for half a century, but US presidents have only blocked 8 deals of CFIUS grounds. 7 of the 8 have involved deals originating from China, and then most recent one from May involved a China-owned crypto miner buying land right next to US nuclear base in Wyoming. Coming back to steel industry, Japan, America's top foreign investors, which already owns another Pennsylvania's steelmaker named Standard. So then, why not let it own another? After both the companies announced the merger in December, Nippon Steel cut ties with its joint venture partner in China and pitched the combined US Steel Nippon Steel entity as a champion of free market economies capable of taking on China, which produces more than half of the world's steel. So now, this could be a legal battle because of this. Now, many factors govern the decision of withdrawal from the deal. First, we'll see the steel often pops up in the national security discussions because of its core military energy and infrastructure uses. But second, the United Steelworkers Union has a long opposed deal, worried about good jobs, benefits, and retirement plans. And this union is the largest industry union in North America, 1.2 million members, and it's headquartered in Pennsylvania, which is not any old state. It's a key state and does oscillate the path of any candidate to the White House. So the greed can be felt and seen. Let me also take you through the reactions. CFIUS, Committee of Foreign Investment in United States, still is not commenting and apparently has not even made a recommendation to the White House yet. A looming decision in Washington to block Nippon Steel's merger with US Steel on national security ground is also raising sharp questions in Tokyo. US Steel would create national security risk because it could hurt the supply of steel needed for critical transportation, construction, and agriculture projects. According to CFIUS, China's persistent use of market distorting government interventions had allowed the country to unfairly gain dominance in the global steel market as it exports extensive surplus steel up to that are artificially lowers in international prices. I will give a quick update on China's stakes. China's Bao Steel bought Nippon Steel 50% stake in their auto steel joint venture. A group of lawmakers has also raised concerns that Nippon Steel operations in China make the acquisition a threat to US national security. Led by senators from steel-producing states in the Midwest, these lawmakers point to Nippon's partnership with Baishan Iron and Steel, a state-owned firm linked to the Chinese Communist Party. Nippon exited its partnership arrangement with Baishan in August 2024. Nippon also says that these accusations are based on significant inaccuracies and misrepresentations and argues that the acquisition would strengthen US national security by forming a stronger competitor against Chinese firms. Now in June 2024, US Steel CEO David Burritt also said the deal would, I quote, strengthen the alliance for us to be able to take on China. For information, today buy shall fall 2.5%, 0.14. Now, after all this story of business deals, my take on this, coming back to what's happening in US, some US steel workers have just held a rally in support of the sale, and the company's CEO is warning of more plant closures if the sale fails. US Steel shares 20% this week and 40% since opposition to the deal since the time the deal first emerged. As for Japan, it stayed silent in public, though a contender to be Japan's next prime minister this month, he jointly said and clearly and concisely expressed that, I quote, everyone wants the votes of labor unions in the presidential election, but I hope that the market will not be distorted by such things. See, Japan has stayed silent in public since long, but it's been busy behind the scenes. Please note this and then make a decision. This is extremely important from the point of view of geopolitics. We have been hearing for months, and it's now there for all of us to see. And soon after opposition to this deal first emerged, Nippon Steel hired one of the DC's top lobbying firms. US Steel also hired another, and the Embassy of Japan added a few more to its own roster. My second pointer to this is, isn't this interesting that all the lobbyists in Washington plus some of the arguments that I just shared, they don't seem good, they don't seem to be enough to outweigh a few thousand crucial votes in Pennsylvania during an election year? And that raises some more bells in the brain and some more questions for US. First, Are we seeing a change in the role of CFIUS? Are we seeing a change in US openness to foreign investments or a change in the framework of US in China's investment business? See, first, what we are seeing in an election, what we are seeing is an election year. Second, this political process is coinciding with the geopolitical one. And third, any big business watching this process very closely might go in a shock. The reason of withdrawal could be many. It will and it can lead to bigger drama with Japan. Also, it will pose questions to G7 countries regarding the trust and credibility of deals with the US in future. Do let us know, is US cancelling the deal due to only security reasons or fear of losing their part in Nippon? Jai Hind.